Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
Sitting here having some hot herbal tea on this
Yes.
damp, cloudy day.
Yes. Got some things that we want to share, some encouraging things, and then talk about a leaked cartoon from Watchtower that's directed to the adults.
I'm speechless.
I know.
All right. Now, Mike and I still have some friends back in Wisconsin when we lived there.
Yeah.
Buckskinners.
Yeah. They
Mountain
live
men.
in the New London area.
Yeah, the New London area. And we got a letter from them yesterday with this article, which is a very lengthy article from Wisconsin. And it's Allie, and I believe her YouTube channel is called Allie's Big Toe.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Yes, and it was from the Sunday, November 10th, 2019 newspaper. And what's interesting about our friends is they've never been JWs, and they remembered that we do activism against Watchtower.
Yeah.
And they saw this article, and Mike had a very lengthy conversation with them. Even the non-JWs in the general public are talking about this.
Yes. It's raising a lot of eyebrows from the John Q public, Allie. So it's having its effect. And of course, I was on the phone with him for an hour and 45 minutes last night, and obviously had to explain a whole lot more about the shunning because the article. When they talk about going to a representative of Watchtower, it's, oh no, we don't shun. Oh, like hell you don't.
And it was so funny because, I was sitting in the living room and I heard him say, telling them all of this, and I heard what they said on the phone. They were like yelling, they're like, what? They're lying then. It's like, well, yeah. Why do you think we do activism?
Exactly. So that was a very good article. I'm glad that they thought of us and cut it out of the paper and sent it to us. We're going to keep that as a keepsake.
Yeah. Well, in fact, right underneath the photo, it says, shunned in her Sheboygan community, a former Jehovah's Witness story reaches worldwide. And it even mentions, she, through her YouTube videos.
Yep.
But the thing is this is getting to be known worldwide. And my goodness, the activists have all really stepped up their...
Well, when you can get what I would assume to be almost a full-page article, that's pretty damn good.
Well, it was all of this, and then it was this, and then finishes up on this side. So that's quite a big article.
Yeah, that's a large expose against the Watchtower Babble Crap Society.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Watchtower Babble Crap Society, we got another call from a Jehovah's Witness, or now
Hi, sweetie.
ex-Jehovah's Witness. Woke up just 2 months ago. And just going to relate a little bit of the story. The article that Watchtower had earlier this year about, the plague of child abuse.
I think that was May.
Yeah, she was so distraught in reading that article that she couldn't even go to that meeting for obvious reasons.
And I should mention, this is an older lady.
Yes, she's 70 years old, been a JW for 50 years. So it's about that point that she decided to go on YouTube or go on the internet and type in something to the effect, child abuse lawsuits against Watchtower. And found the Australian Royal Commission and heard governing body member Jeffrey Jackson when asked by Angus Stewart, do you see yourselves ... Well, no, that would be presumptuous of us. Wow. It's still having its effect. But what's even more curious about this is she found our channel. And real recently, she heard me say something about the two false prophecies in the book of Ezekiel and Jeremiah. And instead of just, taking my word for it that there's two false prophecies in the Bible, she decided to do her own research.
Which is great.
And she said, Mikey, you're right. Thank you for that. And welcome to your freedom. And what's nice in this particular XJW's situation is one of her daughters is out of Watchtower. So she's got somebody that she can talk with.
And if I remember right, we wrote down her name and she'll be a nail in the coffin.
Yes. Yeah, she'll be a nail in the coffin coming up, the next nail in the coffin.
Yeah, which will probably be the end of December because we usually do a final one for the year.
Yes. And before we get into that, Kim, you and I were talking a little bit about our analytics off of our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
So why don't we just let everybody know how fast our channel is actually growing and where we're actually at right now.
Well, first, I want to thank everybody so much. We're about to hit 25,000 subscribers, and we couldn't do this without you guys and your love and support, so we appreciate it so much.
Yeah, in fact, in the last 28 days, we've had 471 new subscribers to this channel, and a lot of those are going over and subscribing to Kim Mikey 2.0, especially those that really want to see the research that's being done regarding the Bible and religion, ancient mythologies, and how they relate to the Bible. So it's really encouraging to see that there are those out there that want to get away from the black and white thinking.
Yeah. And it's amazing, and like I said, we thank you guys for your love and support because, like Mike mentioned, the numbers in just the past 28 days. Just in the past 28 days, we have had 238,200 views on our videos. So
that's almost 500,000 views.
Or at least a quarter of a million.
Oh yeah, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. At least a quarter of close to a quarter of a million views.
Yeah, my goodness. So thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. And as all of you can see, we have our chart up here from Jordan Maxwell. We didn't go as big as the one he had.
We shrunk it down a little bit so it'll fit on the wall.
Yeah, we didn't want to block everything. And some of you have asked for the PDF of this chart. The problem is it's such a poster size, file that, when you open it on your computer, it's only like this big and it's very difficult to see. But if you take and put it on a flash drive and take it into Office Max or a printer or something, they have programs now. They just plug in the flash drive and they can print up whatever size you want. Like mine is 11 by 17 inches. And, I didn't want it any bigger.
Yes.
Well, not only that, but the bigger you go, the more expensive it gets. It was like $20, for the original size. But, Ugly Watchtower, sweetie, have I got something for you? I was actually looking for another article and have been since I've lost the Bond volume. And we're waiting to do a video about it because it's missing. I have no idea what it is.
It's up there. That's where it's at. It's up there.
I think we put it back.
Which one was it?
Yeah, I think we put it back, and I forgot to write down what article it was and what page and stuff like that. So I'm still searching for it. But anyway, when I was searching for it, I came across this. This is from April Fool's.
April's Fool. Imagine that.
The April 1st Watchtower, 1987. Page 16 and 17. This is for Ugly Watchtower. The angels, and I don't know if that's Jesus, and all of the JWs on earth in paradise are all looking up at the sun. And it has Jehovah's throne right in the middle of it, and then the Tetragrammaton right above his head.
Right above it.
But that is definitely looking like a sun.
April's Fool.
Yeah.
Well, here's the whole thing. If you guys really want to have a better grasp of sun worship, start researching Mithra, the cult of Mithra. It is a cult that comes from Constantine's time period. Well, actually, it goes further back, but the Constantine, see, we want to look at Constantine bringing all these Christian sects, these Christian
He
cults.
actually wasn't a Christian. He was actually a Mithra worshiper.
It was a Mithra worship.
Because there was a video we were watching about his archway there by the Roman Colosseum, and they got on like one of those machines that takes them up.
Yeah, but this is what you don't see. From the ground, you don't see the top of it.
There are no Christian symbols on this arch. There's a lot of Mithra cult worship and some demon-looking creatures and stuff like that and other gods. But there is no Christian symbols on this arch.
And on the top of it, it's plain as the nose on anybody's face that it's dedicated to the worship of Mithra, the sun.
Yeah.
The sun god.
Now, before we get into this stupid cartoon, oh my goodness, Watchtower released a portion of their service, 2019 service year, and baptismal figure is the highest it's been in 20 years. And I have seen some videos where people are like, oh, you know, this is very disturbing, you know, oh man, they're growing.
No.
No, let's look at this, guys. Let's look at this. Okay. Now look at the screenshot here for this past year. They say they had 8,579,909 peak publishers. Peak, not average, peak publishers. Okay? Now they're bragging that they have had 303,866 baptized, the highest it's been in 20 years. But let's look at the real figures. This year, 2019's peak publishers, not average, peak publishers, is 8,683,117. Do you guys realize that is only a gain in publishers of 103,208?
Of peak publishers.
Okay, so if you have 303,000 baptized and you've grown worldwide by only 103,000 publishers, you're missing 200,000 publishers.
You guys realize that in every 5 years that goes by, they're losing 1 million people?
Yeah. But see, if you do the reverse math, if you add these 303 people that were baptized,
303,000. 303,866. Yep.
thousand to last year's publisher, peak publisher number, it should be 8.8 million. It's not. It's 8.6 million.
Because see, what Watchtower doesn't do is they don't tell you how many people are disfellowshipped now, how many people are leaving. They used to do that a decade ago. They don't do that no more because they're losing people by leaps and bounds. You know, those that were in Watchtower for 50 years and 70 years old are waking up and finding a new life. But you'll never read that in a Watchtower article dated April 1st.
Well, I have to ask, how many of this 303,000 are kids wanting their driver's license?
Well, that's what you're not being told, and that's what you're not putting into the equation. Because we all know the control that Watchtower is now using. Oh, you're old enough to drive, but you're not old enough to dedicate your life to Jehovah? Well, parents, think about this. It's controlled manipulation. Don't forget about what they've said about the driver's license. Because you have all of these people getting baptized basically to get a frickin' driver's license.
Yeah, but it's really easy. All you have to do is take this year's peak publisher number of the 8.6 million and subtract last year's publishers, the 8.5 million, and that is where you get the 103,208. So they've only gained 100,000 in an entire year. So it doesn't matter how many are baptized,
Right.
how many are they losing?
That's right. Because if you, go ahead.
So I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Jehovah's Witnesses, Watchtower, to tell you this isn't such a great number. You may have surpassed 300,000 in being baptized, but how many of you lost?
And that's the point. If you can't keep the ones from walking out the back door, then what good does it do to baptize anybody at all?
Yeah.
Well, because baptism is the initiation into a mystery cult.
Oh, Mikey,
And
don't
we'll
give that
de-
away.
Oh, no.
That's coming up.
We'll develop that later.
Yeah, still, oh my goodness, talk about a rabbit hole.
Okay, let's get on with the adult cartoon now.
Yeah, let's play the first clip.
Keeping the money that the congregation has dedicated to Jehovah safe and secure is a weighty responsibility. The elders have assigned you as the cash box holder, or a backup cash box holder, which indicates that they have found you to be trustworthy. While this video refers to the cash box holder, it also applies to the backup cash box holder. Why is signing an agreement necessary? In Bible times, it was a common practice for faithful servants of Jehovah to document agreements that involved money. Even when the participants of the agreement were relatives, the agreement was documented. Having an agreement in writing helps to clearly outline the responsibilities of those involved and prevents misunderstandings. What should be in the agreement between the cash box holder and the congregation? Here are 4 key points to include.
Ay, 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 ay.
So, Watchtower, what happened to trusting your brothers? What happened to Jesus' words that say, let your yes mean yes, and you know mean no? Why is there such a dishonesty problem within your congregations now? Are there really, PMOs that could be, taking some of the money? Oh, wait a minute. I remember when I was a ministerial servant way back when, that we took a brother to the airport. He was a ministerial servant. And on the way to the airport, see, and I had just been appointed a ministerial servant, and on the way to the airport, he said, Mike, Brother Brooks, if you ever become the accountant servant, pay close attention because there's money missing.
Well, obviously there's a problem, and I've got to ask, if you have to have a signed agreement between the congregation and the cash box holders, I mean,
Well,
this is not only a trust issue, but it also gives the congregation and Watchtower a signed document to take you to court on.
Yeah, and there again, that, even though they're using the old covenant, the Old Testament covenant to, validate what they're saying here, they're forgetting the new covenant that says at 1 Corinthians 6, starting with 1, I'm just going to read verses 7 and 8. Really then, it means altogether a defeat for you that you are having lawsuits with one another. Why do you not rather let yourselves be wronged? Why do you not rather let yourselves be defrauded? To the contrary, you wrong and defraud, and your brothers at that. You guys want to see a really good example of defrauding the brothers? Pick up any Watchtower article, anyone, I don't care, that talks about the end, the last days being just around the corner. In fact, you guys did a really nice illustration years ago about a train on a train track, and it was this close to going over the edge. That's how close we are to the end of this system.
That was the 70s.
Run! Run! The train is just right there. Never happened. But let us now come down to our day, where they're still saying Armageddon is just around the corner, brothers and sisters. But by the way, let's get some donations going so we can have a $300 million media center. Armageddon, Watchtower, Jehovah's Witnesses, is not around the corner. You're being defrauded.
Well, then, look at our talk with Jordan Maxwell. They got the 2 open-end corporate accounts now where they're just handed blank checks, and whatever they write those checks for are covered. That explains a lot, guys. That was very eye-opening for us because it explained a lot of where they're getting this money. It isn't all donations.
That's right. It's not volunteer donations, brothers.
Yeah. And the thing is they supposedly follow the Bible, and they will use, why would you want to take your brothers to court over the child abuse? Why would you want to contact the authorities and bring a reproach to Jehovah's name? You wouldn't want to do a lawsuit about child abuse. Just greedy lawyers and wanting money.
Here again, they're signing a contract with the person that's responsible for the money so that when the money comes up missing, they know who to take to court and sue.
Yep. So let's play another clip.
First, the cash box holder agrees that he is responsible to safeguard the cash. Second, the cash box holder will not use the money, even temporarily, to care for a personal need. Third, the cash will only be used on approved congregation purchases. Fourth, the full amount of cash will be returned if requested by the body of elders. The original copy of the signed agreement is placed in the archive file. You, as the cash box holder, also receive a copy of the agreement. In summary, being chosen as the cash box holder indicates the high level of trust the elders have for you. To protect yourself and the congregation, make sure the Bible practice of having a written agreement is followed. By following the instructions in the agreement, Jehovah will continue to bless your hard work.
Okay, well, you guys heard it again. This is where this is all leading to. They're going to make one person responsible for the congregation funds. You see the little childish cartoon. I mean, come on. Honestly, where, or why has Watchtower lost control of the brothers sitting down at a round table and saying, Brother Brooks, we're going to make you responsible for the congregation funds. Yeah, I'd love to do that. They don't have that honesty. They don't have, the Brotherhood is crumbling away.
Here, sign this agreement.
Here, sign this agreement.
Sign it in blood.
Yeah.
Because if there's any money missing, guess who's going to have to pay for it?
Guess who's responsible?
And it's interesting that they bring up, that this money in the cash box is not to be used whatsoever with personal or unauthorized purchases.
Yeah, and we've seen that personally in one of the congregations up in Wisconsin.
O'Connell Falls, the PO. He makes everybody do this resolution.
We all stupidly agree.
We need a new lawn tractor and it's a great deal. And then it's like, phew, I'm glad you all agreed because I already bought it.
Yeah.
So in essence, this is what he did. He took congregation funds, unauthorized, and went and bought a lawn tractor, and then got all of us, stupid rank and file to agree to, oh yeah, we need a new lawn tractor.
See, and the thing is, I also remember an example in Arizona. There was a brother that was keeping track of the monthly accounts reports, and at one meeting, right after the accounts report was read, he put his hand up, he got called on, and he questioned about missing money. The following meeting or two, there was announced, brother so-and-so has been publicly reproved.
Just for speaking up about missing money.
Just for speaking up about the missing money.
Yeah, and we actually got a little more details because my mom was working for his business. He did like rent-a-man type things for employment, and my mom was working for him. And we found out more details that it wasn't just a few hundred; it was thousands and thousands of dollars missing.
So Watchtower, I can understand why you want a signed contract because you really don't have a trustworthy brotherhood. And it's even worse now because, I mean, after all, this is leaked to us now, along with other things.
So I want to thank our news source, for getting, these videos to us. Very interesting, let me tell you.
Yes. But see, we also have to keep in mind, friends, it wasn't too long ago that Watchtower sent out this little letter to each congregation, just keep enough operating expenses for about 3 months. And so what's happening to all of that money? Do these congregations not have enough money to operate for 3 months that, whatever little money they do have, whatever little, contributions they can get their hands on, has to now be consigned to a contracted money holder?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, of course.
Obviously.
Meanie Tickle Parson. They don't know who to trust no more, so they have to write contracts.
Yeah.
Signed agreements of who's going to be responsible now when the money's missing. I have a question. What if some reason Watchtower seems to think, the world headquarters, our lovely governing body members in Pennsylvania, what if they seem to think that a congregation who was, donating, just say $500 a month, all of a sudden comes down to $175 a month? Do you think they're going to send a goon squad out there to find out where the rest of the money is? Since they were so used to getting X amount of money per month, and now it's down to this per month. I wonder if they're going to start, what do they call those people, that go around businesses and, hey, for $500 a month, we'll
Enforcer.
Enforcers, yeah. Is this what they're going to start doing?
Well, that's what they do at assemblies. If they don't have enough to cover their preconceived figure, the elders are asked to come up with the money and make the difference. Yeah.
When will these people ever wake up?
When
will they ever wake up?
I don't know. But anyway, like I said, getting back to the figures here, I hate to burst Watchtower's bubble, but you've lost more publishers than you've gained. That's what the bottom line is.
Yep.
So, guys, this is good news. I don't care what numbers, they put out here and, they got the highest number in 20 years.
Well, that doesn't speak much for the past 20 years, does it? Come on! It doesn't speak well for the past 20 years.
Well, let's see. 20 years, that would have been, the mid-90s? Isn't that about when they said the United Nations was the International Year of Peace and they thought Armageddon was coming?
That was back in '86 when they did that.
Was it?
Yeah, I think that was back in the
I'm
80s.
sure they've done it in the 90s, too.
Snaring a racket, guys. Snaring a racket.
So, thank you so much, everybody, for everything. And like I said, welcome to all our new subscribers.
Yes, and I wonder who's going to be the 25,000th.
25,000th?
Yeah, the 25th thousands, however you would word that. Who's going to be number 25,000?
Yeah. But thank you to all our old subscribers.
Yes.
And, all of our friends and viewers. We love you guys so much. We appreciate the love and support.
Bye.
Bye.